Hey guys, Dave, G Matrix, Irish and Sketchy, Sephiroth Darko. Hey, how's it going? I don't believe we've met before. I'm doing a Spider-Man Noir piece today. We met in real life at New York Comic Con a few years back. I still have my signed Moon Knight 6 by my wall. Oh, thanks, man. Cheers. This is your first time on the stream, though, I take it. Yeah, you would think. I actually just did a cover last month. I don't know what time it is anymore. The Spider-Man Noir cover. So I've just drawn him recently, and it came out really well. But it was actually tougher than I thought it would be. It's more complicated. Example. I'm not sure if this is quite working yet. I see one for Moon Knight on Twitter. I did, yeah. I favorited it earlier. It was really nice. I don't like this arm anymore. I'll do something different. Oh, that Moon Knight's yours? Sketchy. Nice. Yeah, it's a really nice piece. I really like the composition. Yeah, came up first. It's got an old-timey hat for one thing, though. Those fuckers are hard to draw. They are actually hard to draw, because they're not all the same. Now, I think I have this one down, but I have too much lead on the page and I want to rub some of it off. Which might be harder for you guys to see, but you're not drawing it, so... Sliney's doing a Seamen piece for me too. I missed out on your commission list, sadly. Seamen. Seamen? X-Men, right, sorry. You just let me say Seamen a lot. Oh, class, what's the X-Men piece? Who's on it? So I'm just enjoying my Ted mug. I conveniently have my sorry, to get something there. Where was I? Phoenix, Cyclops, Wolverine. Message saying wants to add a few more characters. I said for him to do whichever he wants. I initially asked for just Phoenix. Right, okay, well, you're, X-Men's right up Will's alley too. We're both big X-Men fans. See, I'm trying to nail down the old-timey hat first because it's the hardest part. I think once you get a knack for them, you'd be fine. But like, you know, you're trying to go for a gangster look and you don't want it to look like the man from Del Monte, you know. That's going to be a reference that ages me. Hey, Toot! Sketchy, I may open up my commission list again, but like I have a big list at the moment, so I have like 13, and this is number 4, so depending on when my next gig starts and when I get these done, I'll have to see, I guess. But I don't know if you subscribe to my newsletter, but that's the best place to get an edge on commissions because I offer them up first there. And then maybe like online, more publicly online, I open them up. But I always look after the newsletter readers first. Yeah, I don't think anybody else got that, Dave. The man from Del Monte, he says, "You're old." Sketchy, yeah, I'll try and catch you up at some point. I'm trying to get my missus to let me buy your Deadpool Kills issue 4 cover. Deadpool Kills issue 4 cover, which one's that? Is that the one where he's hiding from all the zombie guys? Yeah, that isn't it? Yeah, that's where he's hiding and all the zombie ones are coming down on top of him. That was a fun one. Dave, the man from Jamonte says, "Why, yes, I will have that complimentary Parker pen for some." Three buttons here. With covers, are you approached by the publisher, or is it a send us in stuff sort of thing? Oh god, I wish. Here you go, Marvel. Take that. No, it's very much you're asked. It's only one cover gig I ever got that I kind of got by asking for it, and that was the Star Trek ships covers. I kind of asked for those, or suggested them at least. But otherwise, like with Marvel especially, I mean, they're not stuck for talent, you know. So generally, what'll happen is you'll work with an editor. Like I worked with Heather Antos a lot. She gave me after I did Deadpool, I was kind of known for Deadpool, and when I had left to do, you know, Moon Knight and then Injection. When I was doing Injection, she kind of reached out to me to do some Deadpool covers. So that's kind of why I ended up doing a lot of them around then. So she would have offered me that because she was editing the Deadpool books. But yeah, basically you're asked. You're said, "Hey, are you interested in doing this cover?" And you know, you have to figure out if you have enough time to do it or if you want to do it. There's not a lot of gigs I've turned down, but like cover-wise, because I enjoy covers. But I've definitely turned down some, either because I wasn't into it or I just didn't have the time. But generally, you know, editors know, if you've worked with them especially, they know what you like. So, you know, I'm not offered, you know, no one's ever offered me a Ms. Marvel cover. Not because I don't like Ms. Marvel, but like, you know, that's not the type of stuff I generally get asked to do. Actually would do it, but you know, if I'm asked to do broody, moody characters all the time, that's fine with me because I really like drawing them. It's like that story I was telling you yesterday about the Men of Power covers. Like I took that. I actually took that because I was surprised I was offered it. I took it as a challenge, you know. David, how can people sign up for your newsletter deck? Oh, that's a good question. Oh man, I need to. Okay, good question. You know what you're doing. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Dave. Where am I? It might be on the front page of the stream. If it's not, I'll update it. But okay, found it. If you want to subscribe to my newsletter, I post every 2 weeks, in which I post what I'm up to, what I'm working on, talk about stuff that isn't out yet, and I show sneak peeks of stuff that aren't online yet. And when I have the time, I do some process pieces, showing how I coloured or draw through something. Actually, I don't really show how I draw stuff much anymore. I guess I'm kind of doing that on here, aren't I? But yeah, if you sign up for that, you just get an email from me every 2 weeks, where I plug what I'm doing, but I also, you'll actually find it pretty good, because like there'll be stuff I'll put on Twitter, and if you're not there looking at Twitter at that moment, you won't see it. So the newsletter's handy because I kind of have everything that's really happened of note in the last 2 weeks on there. Oh, good. There's a link. Okay, there's a link beneath the stream video. Good. Now look at me. I'm actually was doing something properly for once. God, I'm amazing. Ron Abernathy. Hey, Ron. Hey. You missed all the good stuff. Well, apparently, I've been informed you can't have nudity on Twitch, or feet. Apparently, is a thing. So if you're hoping to catch my feet, you're out of luck. Sorry. How you doing, Ron? I was supposed to be up your way, I guess, last weekend. I was planning to do a signing up in Belfast, but as you may have noticed, the situation has changed. You say this is the camgirl you weren't expecting, but are you secretly pleased? Or not so secretly pleased? I'm well, man. Thanks. All things considered, I can't complain. Doing okay. Busy. For somebody who was recently made jobless, I'm surprisingly busy. Clear hard time. You've got enough to think about the drawing. Oh, God damn it! Was my nose in frame again? Trying my best. No, I think it was okay. Yeah, it really gets to it when I'm doing all the details and linking all the more detailed bits. That's where they get some hot nose action. Ron. I didn't think it was that noticeable, but okay, I'll look into it. Some children going mental outside. We need a coronavirus to sort them all out. No way, I'll take that back. Never mind, I didn't say that. Oh, sorry, I missed somebody there. Baldman156 says, Declan, got to meet you at C2E about a year ago. I was the one who didn't have enough physical cash for a second print. You told me to take it for free. I went and got some more cash, and brought you the money. You had showed me some upcoming layers you've been working on. Glad to see you streaming again. I just want to say how great it was to meet and talk to you. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for the nice story. I forgot I was human. No, thanks. That's really nice of you. Stop hitting the fucking camera, Shalvey. As for you, Ron, when you're asking how I'm getting on, I'm sure as you know yourself, I'm inside most of the time anyway, so I'm just carrying on as usual, really. Except when they go to the shops and they've got this weird thing in Ireland where they had this message on the shops going, "In Ireland we're friendly," and some other stuff about we're social, but you have to maintain social distancing and stuff, and I totally get it, totally understand the reasons why, but that creeps me out more than anything else. I know a lot of people watching your professional streams. I know people move their page around as much as I do. Oh, old man subscribed. Thanks, man. Tea. I love tea. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not 100% sure what subscribing means and stuff. I'm not. I live with some Twitchers, and they know all that stuff, so they tell me afterwards. I don't know if Twitcher is the right term. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I don't know. I mean, it's nice of you. Thanks. I'll take it. I didn't know I was. I know some people make money from that stuff, but I never aimed to because I'm not a regular. I would never really be doing this stuff regularly, so I would have thought I'd have that right, as it were. But look, I'll take it. This leg is a bit big, so right down it. Means I'm a Twitch prostitute. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Oh, cool. Oh, thank you, Baldman. Cheers. I feel weird calling you Baldman. To make sure to subscribe on Twitch means you get roughly $250 on the person is financially supporting the channel for 30 days. That's really cool. Well, that's grand that way. If I'm not doing much Twitches, I don't want to talk. That you're not spending money where and not getting anything back for it. Oh, Doik, it also means that I use an emote, which your Declan will probably be a little phase with his cat Buffy. Yeah, I've asked Mike to do that for me. He's been all like, pay me. I'm like, oh, fine, be like that. I know he wants to do it anyway. Right, where are we? Okay, half hour. Well, half hour and what do we start inking? That's good because I think this is going to take a little bit longer to ink, and I have to stop at 7 or a little bit beforehand if I can. Oh, thanks, Paul, man. Cheers, I appreciate it. Yeah, enjoy your work. Have fun as much as you can. Our schedule. When you do sequential pages, are you allowed to do whatever fits the script? Are you given specific instructions or composition of every panel? I was once given a script that had a composition of every panel, and I printed it out, and I took a Sharpie and I blocked it all out. Like most writers who don't know how to draw shouldn't be giving those type of instructions because they don't know how the hell it works. But there are plenty of writers out there who know how to write comics, and they have a very good idea of what makes sense visually. Like someone like, say, Warren Ellis. What you get is, so I don't really print out my scripts anymore. You get a page. You get a description for each panel in the page. So it'll say specifically what happens in each panel, and who's saying what. So it's broken down fairly distinct, fairly with a good bit of detail. But again, different artists are different and they have different processes. So there is a level of freedom in which you can kind of play around with things. Some take a hell of a lot of liberties with the script. I am personally not one of those people. I try to stay as close to the script as possible, but I do tend to. I think Jeff Parker jokes I used to always add a panel to every page he writes, but that's not true. But I did add a few panels for sure, generally for pacing and stuff that kind of suited me more. So there's a little bit of leeway, but basically you're getting a screenplay with all the information you need, paced to a degree. I think there are some writers who leave specific descriptions, but I would not work with them personally. Or, well, I can say that now. There was a time where I did because I had to, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it. These bricks could be better. But yeah, effectively you get a finished script, and there's a level of in which you can kind of play with it. And generally writers kind of they don't mind it as long as you're not taking the piss, I've heard stories of artists going and just going nuts with other people's scripts and just doing what they want, and that is not cool. Ron Allamore got heavily composition directed these books, but he always left the provision that the artist had a better idea to go ahead and do that instead. That's true. I would personally hate to draw an Allamore script. I know everyone says he's great, but no, thank you. But I think he also got a bit of a bad rap because the scripts of his that have been seen are very, very detailed. And from what I heard, I think that's what the artist wanted. the Prometheus scripts get handed around a lot, and as far as I understand, J.H. Williams wanted he wanted a lot of detail in them. So if that's the case, I don't think it's necessarily fair that Alan Moore gets kind of criticized for doing that when it's just what the person wanted. Excuse me, sorry. Makes sense. This foot will be there, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, Ron, I think I got the virus. Well, you never know. Gidra, finally get to watch one of your streams. Thanks, Gidra. To do Hesperus. Ill Ink. How's it working with Alice? It's fine. Well, I guess I should elaborate. Sorry, I get asked that a lot. And maybe it's a little immature of me to get annoyed by the question. No one asks Warren what it's like to work with me. No one. They don't go, what's it like working with Shalvey? That's all. But I know Warren's great. It was very surreal to get to work with him on Moon Knight because I grew up reading like so much of his stuff, and also he hadn't written comics in a while. If anyone remembers, he'd been doing novels and stuff for a few years, so he hadn't written much comics work. So he's the last person I ever expected to get to work with. But has been such a great collaborator to work with over the years. And let's face it, working with him has made my career, so I'm not going to complain. And even when we're not working together and stuff, he checked in with me a while ago to make sure I was okay with the virus and stuff, and he's much nicer to me than I am to him. But I generally also kind of leave him alone. I know he's a very busy guy, so don't be bothering him. The great Shalvey indeed. Gidra, I love watching the pages you share on Twitter. Oh, thank you. I want to colour a few of them that you said were okay to colour. Oh yeah, I uploaded high-res files there a while ago, and lots of people have been colouring them actually. It's pretty fun to see. Ooh, like that. Are you in Dublin or did you decamp to Clare? I'm in Dublin. Still in Dublin, Ron. My whole setup is here, and you know, I live in an ivory tower anyway, so I don't really have a reason to leave the house unless I need to go to the shop, so it's fine. And I work with a couple of people who are the same. They're animators, so they're just working away the whole time. So it's that's why I feel it's weird. I can't complain because my life is pretty much the same. Except that, you know, everyone I know has lost their jobs pretty much. That sucks. Including me, but I got another one, so I'm thankfully I'm okay. But a lot of people scrambling right now trying to make things work. I know. Like I don't know. I've heard stories of other people who have friends who work with Warren and maybe didn't work out, whatever. But I really can't complain. He's to me and Jordi Belair, who was colouring Moon Knight and Injection, really supportive. Um, like he's the one who told me I need to be writing and drawing my own stuff, and pushing me to do it too. I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing Injection. You know, he doesn't really work in his own self-interest, I'll say. But it's worked for me, so I won't complain. Again, I'm not complaining. Ill Ink. Does it help if we buy comics you've worked on? I ask because I've been buying a lot of comics since the lockdowns. I keep wondering if anyone but the writers get royalties. Injection is next on my list. That's a good question, Ill Ink. Yeah, I do. Specifically, Image Comics. With Marvel Comics, I don't know where you live, but I only make royalties on what sells in North America. But with Image Comics, because we own them, so Injection, for example, if that's next on your list, I will definitely make money from that. Both Warren and I have ownership of that book, and we make money on that book, which is great. Same with Savage Town or Bog Bodies, which is coming out next month, a book that I wrote. That's creator owned, so me and the artist and the colorist, and we all make money off that. It's great. Like the books I do at Image sell less than the Marvel books, but I make more in royalties on them, which is crazy. So yeah, please do check out Injection, and I can genuinely say, with no self-aggrandizing, that it's quite good. More for Warren than anything else, but you know. I don't completely suck on it. Kazuto Archer, hey man, how's it going? Injection is the dates. Declan's work on it is him at the top of his game, firing on all cylinders. I recommend it to anyone. Thanks, Ron. Cheers. Irish. I think Image will outsell Marvel pretty soon. Well, if Marvel don't start bringing out new books, well, I mean, it looks like they are, but I mean, Image are doing really, really well, but like Marvel are just massive. I don't know if that's the case. And like, I have no problem with Marvel. You need big companies like that, you know. Injection definitely did a level of success because we followed. We did Warren and I did Moon Knight together. Without that, I mean, I'm sure the book would have done okay, but I think Moon Knight definitely helped out a lot. Sorry, I was just checking something. Sorry. That's looking at a statement I got about Savage Town, and it is still not making money right now. Ron, still is such a wacky book. I can't think of many things like that Marvel put out in recent years. Well, I think we were following off the success of books like Fraction and Aya's Hawkeye and stuff like that. I do. I think what was somebody was doing Daredevil at the time, or yeah. I mean, there was a lot of really good books at that time. I think the what else? What else was it was Marvel Now. All the Marvel Now stuff was really good. Ms. Marvel came out of that. Charles and Polito's She-Hulk. What else? Like a lot of really good books. But yeah, I guess that's fair. I think there's probably not a lot of books that kind of feel creator-led in the same way as those books did, aside from maybe Hickman's X-Men stuff. Yeah, New Warriors. I will give it that. I did a variant cover for New Warriors, and it looked like the old team was like, yeah, okay. But looks like they're doing something different with that. I don't like to make judgments on anything until I've actually read it. Yeah, like haven't read Moon Knight yet. Should I try it before injection? Yeah, do. I mean, I don't think it matters if you do before or after. It's a different book. I mean, I describe it. It's it's a lot more self-contained, very punchy, succinct issues. It reads. I mean, I think if you were reading it when it was coming out, it's actually a little bit more enjoyable because it was. I think it actually reads better as issues. Injection is different because it's specifically designed to be read in long form, which is what after doing Moon Knight and after having done lots of small projects, it's what I wanted to do next. I wanted to do something more long form, and now it's so long I haven't finished it. Well, I hadn't actually read the Spider-Man Noir books before Spider-Verse, so I'm very into the Nick Cage. The Nick Cageness of it all. Kazuto, Declan, can I ask some tips on storytelling for comics? You can ask Kazuto, but I mean, I'm not sure how good my answers are going to be while I'm concentrating on this. But ask away. I'll answer as best I can. Great cartoon, though. Music and animation was amazing. No pun intended. On Spider-Verse. Oh, that film was incredible. Ron, Spider-Man is the rare occasion where the voice actor is more of a cartoon in real life than the character. I can't really argue with that. Could someone write what he said? I don't understand, Kazuto, sorry. I'm just reading out comments that people are typing out in the chat. Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, you can ask. I don't know if my answers will be good. Sorry, I'm just trying to see thing goes all the way around his head. Yeah, it does. We know the wind follows them. Yeah, I loved all that stuff. I mean, I don't know if kids got that at all, but all the dads were laughing, or the dad adjacent. I understand how Spider-Man Noir sticks to walls with his feet when he wears boots. Well, the same argument could be made for regular Spider-Man. Let's see. So I have a little difficulty in making the environment when and where to place the buildings, the floor, the objects. How can I study storytelling? I don't really know how to answer that, Kazuto, without seeing your work. It's too broad a question. Yeah, I can't answer that. I would need to see what you're doing, the choices you're making, and respond to those. Broad advice on storytelling. It's too. It needs more specificity in order to help. Sorry if that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry that's not helpful, but like those are two different questions. Studying storytelling and backgrounds are two. They're related, but they're two different discussions. Thanks for spelling that out, Irish. I'm struggling here. Yeah, Doig, that's not a bad idea. There's some good books on that stuff. Framed Ink is very good. I know somebody would be. If you Google Framed Ink, that's a good book to look at. Yeah, I'm sorry that wasn't more help. Lovely, Dave. Cheers. It's tough, Kazuto, but I mean, I was the same. I just studied by practicing, and looking at other people's work, and slowly improving. How to Draw the Marvel Way is an old book, but very helpful when I was young. But there's a lot of good books out there now, I think, since. Because yes, I would have to see what you're doing to properly help you, but I don't have time to do that. I'm sorry. If I do that for you, I'd have to do it for everybody, and I get asked that a lot. If you're at a convention, I'm always happy to do it. Yeah, I've tried giving feedback in email, and it takes me it takes a couple of hours. At a convention, like I can talk to somebody for 15 minutes and really go get in depth, but it's extremely difficult to do online. For me, anyway. Like I'm doing it with somebody this weekend because they won. They auctioned for it in a fundraiser. So I mean that's me giving that's me donating, is giving my time to do that. Because it'll take me a while, and it keeps me away from work if I'm doing it to do it properly. Yeah, I don't know what most people are like at conventions if you ask like with their work, but I'm pretty sure most are happy to look. I know I am. Unless they're sometimes maybe they're in the middle of a commission and they can't, but otherwise I think most artists are happy to look. Hey Watley, how's it going, man? Hope you guys are doing alright. Also, something is definitely in the post to you. I was informed yesterday. So keep your eyes out on the post. Um, what Dave says the worst thing you can do is oh sorry my face when someone takes the time to look at your stuff is feel you need to defend your work. That's a very good point. One thing I get very frustrated with when looking at people's portfolios is when I point out something that needs work and their answer is, oh, I didn't have a lot of time. Fuck you is the answer to that. I don't say that, but that is the answer. None of us have the time. That's always an issue is time. So if what you're showing me isn't good because you didn't think you had enough time, then you shouldn't be showing me. To be blunt. So, I don't know why I'm shoving the page all the way over there so my face is the good shot. But like especially with portfolio reviews, I'm going to expect that you're spending longer on the pages than a regular artist would have time to do. So it just has to be the best you could possibly show. And I'm guilty of having done it. I didn't defend myself, but I remember going to a convention years ago with a Nightwing portfolio, and I remember inking it in the cafe in London. There's a cafe on Leicester Square, and I was sitting in there trying to get it inked in time for the convention. But, I mean, it was good practice. But yeah, if you're showing stuff and you're like, oh, this is my best stuff, then I just get a little annoyed because I'm like, why are you not showing me your best stuff? I mean, I think I'm pretty good at portfolio reviews, but again, that's why I need to see the work, and that's why it's better in person because you can really properly analyze it. It's complicated. I don't know what it's like in Brazil. So many amazing Brazilian artists, though. But yeah, if you want to be a comic book artist, you have to go to conventions at some point. So it's PJ holding onto my stuff first at Bix, and I remember him doing his best to hide how annoyed he was getting when I tried to explain everything he was rightfully critiquing. Oh, good old PJ. He was my first ever portfolio review as well, actually. It was a small convention in Belfast. It was like a gaming convention. But he was very good. He gave a very good portfolio review. One of my favorite things you do with Spider-Man is the uneven web pattern on the suit. Does anyone else do it? I haven't really seen other artists do it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, thanks, man. I like doing it like that, personally. I think I've seen Jay Lee do it. I've definitely seen somebody else do it. I'm not the first to think of it for sure. I mean, I can pretend that I was, but I would be lying. To Irish. When I was 19, I showed a certain comic artist my work, and he was brutal, but I appreciated the truth. Man, whew, sounds like an asshole, whoever that is. Sounds like a jerk. When I do them, I do my best to be like direct. I got a couple of reviews where I was very straight up with the people saying, please be strict. You know, give me really critique me because I want to get better. And I found out afterwards he basically just gave the same review to everybody else that he gave to me, and I was very annoyed about it because I felt it was a waste of his time and my time. But yeah, I try to be direct, but like also, you know, fair. Because you know, the honest truth is drawing comics. This is nothing. This is just like a bit of fun. Actually, drawing comics is the hard work, and there's no point even trying to get like deep into it unless you're willing to. Well, not even willing, able. Some just don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? A professional writer, and I can't think of words. They don't have the, I don't want to say stamina, but it's the mental fortitude to sit down on your own all day long, every day, all year. It sounds miserable, but you know, that's not easy. I was at a convention a while ago and I said, you know, drawing comics is great, it's the best job in the world, as long as you're okay, not seeing your family, not seeing friends, and having barely any social life. Then it's great. If you're okay with all those things, then have at it. But you should know it going in, you know. Now, and it's not. I mean, it's not completely true. There's plenty of people with families and social life, but you know those things come later because you have to put in so many hours of work. Good luck summarizing that, Irish. Mindset, yeah. Yeah, like I know there's one artist who's it sounds like a dream. But like it's great. I get to wake up every morning and I just, you know, wander out of my bed and have a shower and go upstairs and start drawing. It's my life. It's pretty great. But you know, it can be tough on the brain to just be on your own. Some people are not built to be on their own all the time. I mean, I guess people are getting a taste of that with the quarantine at the moment, but that's why I'm pretty much fine because I'm used to this anyway, and I actually have a bit of company. No, I'm not. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't talk anybody out of it because it's great, but I would want someone to know how tough it is. So, because if they're not prepared to put in that kind of work, there's just not much point. I can take more time now to take more time off. I don't need to do this. I could be doing something else, like having a life. Well, nobody's having a life now, I guess, but in general. But I had to spend a lot of years just drawing all the time and making a name for myself, and trying to get a profile. And I'm known for Moon Knight, which is great, but I did comics at Marvel for 3 years, 4 years before that happened. It's not a direct path to glory. Some people think it may be. But those are the downsides. The upsides are fantastic. I said you had to be dedicated because it's a hard job, or oh, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm consistent. Drawing a page every day to practice and study is a good method for studying, right? Definitely. Definitely. You can draw a page a day, you're doing very, very well. Go to hell, Dave. How are we doing this guy? Okay, I have a half hour to finish this. Well, I may not finish this in time, guys. My studio mate needs to start streaming his own thing at Doig at 7. So, that's why I'm glad I penciled this earlier, because I knew it was more work. But I'm about to move to washes. I'll get this mostly done, but I may not just get it 100% finished in time. But let's find out, shall we? Drawing every day is very good at Kazuto, but drawing a page a day is professional level. So practice that. Yeah, I saw Mark working on this big crowd scene. Good luck. Hey, I normally do have a happy ending. Okay, especially say, I'll tell you what, if I, how many are watching? 21. Okay, if I get 15 ones, you can type 1 or 2. If you don't want to see a surprise, if you do want to see a surprise, tweet 1 or type 1. And if I get 15, I'll show you a happy ending of a sort. A surprise / happy ending. Two ones, that's pathetic. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Kazuto, I recommend use a Finnish script. They're online, you can find them somewhere. Irish is sketchy. I haven't gotten 15. I'll count again, but I don't see 15. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. I'll tell you what, 10, alright? I guess to 10. I'll show you something, a happy ending. I should not say that like again out loud. I can't blame you guys. You guys are actually giving me ones. Oh, got another one. That's 8. I need 2 more ones and then I can show something. Exactly. The lurkers need to step up here, guys. Link. I don't stream often at the moment. I'm trying to stream most days for the next couple of weeks, and then I'll probably stop again. Yeah, just 2 more ones, and I will show something that no one has seen yet. Yesterday I showed a Daredevil cover. And I won't always have something to show, but it's particularly relevant today. Hey, Keith Chan. Cheers. Okay, I just need 1 more then. Good on you, Keith. Everybody thank Keith. Do I remember Tony Silas? Is a Brazilian artist that I worked with. I didn't really work with him at Kazuto, but he worked on Venom the same time I was working on Venom. But I've never talked to him. He's very good, though. Okay, it'll just for everybody else, or they'll get annoyed with you. Just post 1. Just put 1 into the chat, and then I'll explain. Miss Lindsay's on Twitch. Doesn't matter. There we go, Ron. Good man. Ron has saved the day with his 1. Everybody thank Ron. Okay, because I'm going to wrap this up in like 20 minutes. Ron for the win, indeed. Oh, and then Pascal. Here we go. We probably could have gotten to 14. Yeah, so keep watching. I'm going to do my best to finish this, but I don't think I'll get it. I won't get it done before I have to stop streaming. But I'll show you this. Again, between us, because this hasn't been seen online yet. This is a cover, a Spider-Man Noir cover I've done for the new book. You can see it on there. So I did this about a month ago. That's why I was able to do this, because he was fresh in my head. So you can see I got all these blimps in the background and New York and yeah, I'm really happy with this one. I spent a good while. Also, the colored version, I colored it too, but it's all black and white and like digital halftone, and the only thing in color is are the gun blasts. So that looks really nice. Oh yeah, that's right, Ron. You win it. You win it because you were the deciding. No, I'm just kidding. You don't win it. Here's a pleasurable release. But yeah, you see, it was worth typing one into the chat, wasn't it? But yeah, I'll give you a look there. Yeah, this takes me a whole day to do, so it's a little bit different. Some washes on the background there. Yeah, so that's it. So there's a finished piece. I won't get this finished yet. Save all your wows and everything. But yeah, I'm going to do as much as I can, and then finish it off. The rest offline. You might even buy the book. I'm not sure which issue it is, and whenever Marvel are releasing their books again. Yeah, that's why Spider-Man wears a mask, because he doesn't want to spread the coronavirus. Fire in the bulb. Spidey looking slick. Thank you. Just give the artist names to your LCS and the sort the books for you. That's pretty great, Irish. Even variant covers? That's pretty good of them. That's a lot of names to be looking out for. Who's your shop in are you in Dublin or? Yeah, I won't finish. There's more washes to be done on this, so it's not gonna. I'd say I'm gonna get this like 80% finished. So stick with me. I think I may have run out of surprises though for any further streams. That Daredevil and that Spider-Man are the only finished pieces. Oops, I did before lockdown. Well, other than Punisher, but I can't show you that. That would get me in trouble. Actually, even showing you those covers would get me in trouble. So don't tell anyone. Don't narc on your pal Shalvey, huh? washes now. Oh, you're in England. Oh, cool. That's handy. Let's see. No more surprises. Maybe. Comics police. Oh, if only. Comics internal affairs. Well, I'd definitely get in trouble. They put me in comics jail. Right, I'll put the washes. With Comic Con's been cancelled, what do you suggest prospective artists do to show new work? Send a sample comic to some editors. Are they even working right now? That's a very good question, actually. Good question, man. Well, yeah, conventions are kind of out right now, so I think the best thing you can do is make the comic. Even conventions aside, it's just good to make your own comic because one, editors can see you can just do a whole comic, which is basically showing you can do the job, which helps. So that's always good. Also, you can send them your. I mean, random editors don't generally tend to take to look at portfolios because they're really busy getting the books made in general. But different publishers do have people in charge of looking at that stuff, like Ricky Purdon at Marvel and Ben Abernathy at DC. And you know, there are some editors that kind of look for people online. So the best thing you can do is effectively have a portfolio at hand that if somebody asks to see, you can just send a link, and it's your 8 to 10, 8 to 12 best pages. Ideally, and there may be 2 or 3 different stories, but sequential pages within them, like not page from one story, page from another story, page from another story. Ideally, it's maybe 3 pages sequentially in a row, so the editor can see you can tell a story effectively. Random pages do not help with that. So that would be the first thing. And then beyond that, I think just doing your own comic can be hugely helpful. You learn way more from doing it, and you have a finished story that you can send to people. People can actually read something that you've made rather than you just have a portfolio sitting in your shelf. If that makes sense. like you become a fan of somebody's work by reading it and enjoying it, not just looking at it. And if I can read your work and enjoy and like it, I'll become a fan. So I would encourage you to find a writer or write something yourself, and do a short story that I can see, like, this is who. Sorry, I can't remember who. Was that Illink? Yeah, Illink. This is what Illink's work is, and then I'll know, you know. But before that, you want to have a visible, accessible portfolio. But yeah, it was a good question because you know, there aren't going to be any conventions for a while, and younger artists are going to have to find a different way of getting their stuff out there. Like, I showed work at comic conventions for a good while, but nothing ever really happened for me until I did Hero Killers, which is the first published work I ever did. And don't feel the urge to look it up. Yeah, Link. Yes, I've walked my portfolio around to cons. It's been helpful for the critique, but doesn't get eyes popping. I'm working on a short story comic to send it to people at the Big Five. See if anyone likes it. It's only pencil inks because of a day job and don't have the time. That's a good strategy, man. Like, a solid short story can do a lot, you know. I think the thing for editors is that they can see you can do a 20-page story, then they know that, like, if they hire you, you can do that. But also, realistically, Marvel don't hire straight up. Are extremely rare for them to just hire off the portfolio. So I would, if I were you, aim at Boom, aim at IDW, at whatever the kind of, like, you know, the B's. I don't mean B list in a bad way. I just mean not the big two. Aim there because they are more likely to hire somebody who doesn't have a profile, but it won't be a big page rate. And off the back of that, ideally, you will find an audience, and you will get credibility because people can see you can do the job, and editors will know that if they hire you, you can do 20 pages. But the downside of short stories, like 5 or 6 pages, is that anybody could do those in any amount of time. So an editor doesn't really know what you can do. But that's not to talk you out of what you're doing. I think what you're doing is a good idea considering your circumstances. Well, webcomics can gain attention, but then again, they can't. Like, I'm having a hard time right now trying to push my friend Rory's comic. I am pushing it harder than any of my own stuff right now because I think it's a great book. He's released it digitally, but like getting people to actually like just pay £2 for a very good book that they can read right now when everyone's like desperate to read stories. Like, digital is good, but I think it's better if you have an audience, maybe. But it is also a tool that's available, so it'd be silly not to use it. It's with putting a story out digitally. Essentially, you know, you're not going to do great, but all you need is the right people to actually see it. And really, that just won't happen unless you put it out there. So it's it's still good to do it. Yeah, Indiegogo campaigns and all those are pretty good. Again, I think it's more if people know who you are, it's more of a guaranteed success, and it's a lot of work. If you do like a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, like people don't appreciate how much work goes into promoting them all the time, pushing them. You've got to make sure you've priced it all ahead of time. Again, not a reason not to do it, but just keep that in mind when you are doing it. But like, I think it's going to become harder in the next while, even for Indiegogos and stuff, because you have like known professionals, say like me maybe, who are going to be turning to digital in the next month or so because their their Marvel book or their DC book has been paused, and they're looking to get their stories out. So you're going to have a lot of like new people scrambling to find an audience when there's people who have an audience are already being asked to get behind other projects. If that makes sense. Maybe I could be wrong. That might not be the case. It might be that people are just totally fine to push both. I'm not cynical. I guess I just try to consider, all aspects. Yeah, like a good point with the shipping. Those crowdfunding projects can get pretty pricey. I mean, I'm not personally that bothered. If I want to promote a book, if I want to support a book, I kind of don't mind how much money it costs personally. But like, that's me. I have the money to spend. Um, I'm not I'm not a regular consumer, as it were. I'm an idiot who will pay more than what it's worth. Most people are smarter than me. That's I actually might get this done in time. I have 10. No, not 10. I have 5 minutes. Can you do it? Put the right exciting music on. Mike, do you have a link to your stream?
Yeah.
Do you want to post it in the chat here? So, guys, I'm finishing now. So I'll be going offline in like 5 minutes. But Michael Doig, who is often in the chat, he has a stream where he plays a video game with his dad. Is it called something, Mike, or?
It's Doig and Dad.
Doig and Dad. There you go. So Mike and his belligerent Scottish father, belligerent that he gives out to Michael as he's playing the game, which is great fun. I personally enjoy that. But yeah, they'll be starting at 7, so just after I hang up, they'll be getting at it. Getting at it. I mean, starting their game. So if you want to watch that, have at it.
Thanks.
No worries. I'd mob you or
Raid.
host you. I mean,
Raid.
Raid.
I can show you if you want. I need to set up the console, so.
Yeah, but I can't raid you now because you're not on.
Yes.
Yeah. So I kind of can't raid you. Cool. Thanks, Irish. Michael is my studio mate. And all-around lovely guy. He was a colorist on Coda as well. I don't know if you read that. It's a very good Simon Spurrier book. Oh, Link is 21 pages. I'm not going to waste money printing anything less. I think you can. I don't think you can tell a story in 6 pages, not one with a twist. That is completely not true. Link, you can do it in 6 pages. I just wrote one in 4 pages, so there. But I mean, 2000 AD is completely built off the idea of doing 6-page short stories with a twist. So you are wrong, but. You know, there's a level of you might want to get a bit more sophisticated and broaden out your story more. I think I would call it a 21-page one-shot because it sounds better than a short story. Short story sounds like it's 3 or 6 pages. So say one-shot, and I think that's a good idea. That's basically what I did with Hero Killers. That showed everybody what I could do in I think it was 30 pages. Okay, guys, this is pretty much done. I basically need to do a little bit more rendering, but I won't have time to do it in the stream here. So this is basically the commission. Aside from, what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna hang up. I don't know what the phrase is, but
Stop.
I'm going to stop. Thanks, Mike. I think that's just what he's saying in general. Stop. And then I'm gonna go in and just do a little bit more details and back up some folds. But that's 95% done. I'm gonna post the finished one in probably in the next hour. But let me sign it. Okay, yeah, so pretty much it. Yep, thanks a million for tuning in and sorry. That. Yeah, for yeah, keep me company in the questions and everything else. Appreciate it. And yeah, hop over to Doigs in the next 5 minutes. And I think that's yeah. Okay, I'm out of here, guys. Catch you later. How do I stop this again? Oh yeah. Yeah, catch you later, guys. Thanks a million.